Welcome back to TMI. Now, as promised, we have the first Chief Justice under the current Constitution, the first President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, an author, a lecturer, a man who suffered the dark days of Kenya's justice system, but rose to usher in its new dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our great honor to have Justice Dr. Willy Mutunga. Wow, Dr. Willie, you are one of our most requested guests on the show. And I think the first time Kenyans saw you was when we were looking for a new Chief Justice. And then in walks this man with a backpack and a stud. And then we were like, huyo hawezi pata hiyo kazi. Knowing our country, huyo hawezi pata hiyo kazi. A few days later we hear, he got the job. And now two things. First, how did you feel when you were doing the interview and all the questions you were being asked were not about your jurisprudence? It was about why do you have a stud? Oh, are you married? And the other hand is, sasa kwa sisi kama youth tutakuwa na dreadlocks na stud tutapata kazi pia.
Yeah, mtapata kazi. That question shocked me because I expected, questions on my vision of the judiciary, about jurisprudence, as you say, which is important for judges. What do you believe in? What I was going to do while there. Yeah. But it turned out to be, the stud. And when I explained it, why I wore the stud, I was laughed at when I said, my ancestors asked me to wear the stud. Yeah. And I have to wear. So Ruto says, don't give this guy a job because he speaks to spirits. You don't want a Chief Justice who listens to, spirits. So there are a lot of dimensions, religious, political, and so forth. And my view is that that wasn't an interview. Even when I went to Parliament, it was about, the stud. Yeah. And the presumption that people wear studs are gay. So I was even asked whether I was gay, and I said I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't asked to bring witnesses.
HD.
So, but I also took the opportunity to say I wasn't homophobic. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
And I lectured everybody on Desmond Tutu's thesis on creation, that we are all created by God. Yeah. And so are people, gay people. Yeah. They're also God creations. Yeah. So we shouldn't play God by saying so-and-so go to hell, so-and-so, is cast, because we are reading some verses in the Bible instead of reading the entire Bible. Okay. So I took the opportunity to, I guess, educate not only the Kenyans, but even those who are interviewing me, that I wanted to be a Chief Justice of all Kenyans. Wow. Okay, all of them. Yeah. And in justice, you first of all focus on the marginalized. Yes. And those who are vulnerable. Yes. And so it's nobody talks about it anymore. Yeah. And I think people who have dreadlocks will be able to go to court. They can wear studs. We discuss issues of wigs and whatnot. Yes, yes. So I think it was a pity that that the whole interview was around that. Although some of the commissioners asked good questions. They did. There was a debate. But the great thing about that discussion is that I ended up getting as presents 51 studs That's true. I have them.
You still have them somewhere, just in case another interview comes up.
I have them. I had to tell people now I've had enough.
Wow. Yeah. Now, speaking of people saying you are talking to ancestral spirits, one thing you championed was alternative dispute resolution.
Yes.
When you were in Tena.
Yeah.
Ukaambia watu waende waone wazee, watu wakasema pia umesema watu waende waone waganga. Like, are this still, when you left, did you feel like that framework existed, and is it still going on well for alternative dispute resolution?
Yeah. It is. You see, what Kenyans forget is that only 5% of Kenyans go to formal courts. Okay?
Yeah.
95% can't afford those courts. They also trust their neighbors and the pastors and bishops to be honest and arbitrate.
Yes.
So as we talk today, in some place in Kenya, the elders are sitting down because there's been cattle trespass.
Wow.
And neighbors are in conflict. So they sit and they talk, and peace is restored.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to basically say. That is also important. And we started with what we called the Judicial Transformation Framework. And a lot of work was done in the 5 years I was there.
Yeah.
Then Maraga came in with a blueprint called Sustaining Judiciary Transformation.
Yeah.
And the Kome has continued it with access to justice as basis for social transformation.
Okay,
It's been a fantastic development.
Yeah.
And what this means is how do we make sure that when the elders decide something, it has a force of law.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So can this decision be filed in a court?
Oh, okay.
So that it's something that is enforceable.
Okay.
And of course, what do you mean by African judiciary? How are you going to get this 95%? Given the prominence that the Constitution, gives it. So the integration will be very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Even the law schools will change.
Yeah, they should.
Okay, even the judiciary will change.
Yeah.
There will be elders who are developing jurisprudence.
Yeah, umesema watu tunasema vijana na kazi, wewe unasema wazee pia kazi yao isiende mahali.
But the elders under the Constitution are not old people.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There is a program we have in Mau Forest
where
they actually elect the elders.
Wow.
So they are young people.
Yeah.
They are and the women.
Oh, okay.
As elders.
Wow.
The old system like Jurinjeke. You have heard of it in Meru.
Yeah.
Those guys say they represent everybody.
Yeah.
So women out, youth out, and so forth. The Constitution says no. You cannot do that.
Makes sense.
So it's something different. And hopefully, when the young people join and the women, then there will be also justice.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, in those traditional justice systems.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, if there's one thing, you've talked about formal institutions and informal institutions.
Yeah.
And it's election season.
Yeah.
And we are seeing the people who are being cleared to run for office, whether it's EACC, IEBC, and some Kenyans have a lot of qualms about who is getting cleared to run. What do you think they are doing their job well, and what does that say about like our moral and political fiber as a country with the leaders that are coming out being cleared from those institutions?
The basis of all this is Chapter 6 of the Constitution.
Yes.
And if it was implemented, there will be nobody in Parliament. There will be nobody in the county assemblies. Maybe a few governors like one will survive. Because, we are ruled by people who, make that chapter a big joke.
Yeah.
But the judiciary I guess we also to blame in the sense that that matter hasn't reached Supreme Court, so that it's decided completely. The High Court, as you remember, came up with a great decision of Mumbi, Odunga, and Mumbi Ngugi, and Joy Ngugi. And they basically said that for you to comply with that, chapter, you have to have integrity, so that you don't demean your office.
Yes.
It was a very, very good decision, which the Court of Appeal overturned, and it hasn't reached the
Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's why you see even IBC doesn't know how to deal with this issue. So as long as it gets there, and the final decision is given, which should be a decision which changes our politics, because our politics is very monetized and ethnicized.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Although Article 91 of the Constitution says we shouldn't organize politics that way.
Around ethnic.
Around divisions and so forth. So it's something that I hope when it gets to Supreme Court, it will bring to an end the rule of barons, rapists, murderers, and whoever else manages to get to these places, because it's money basically. And it's unfortunate that even the young people are not raising these politics of issues. For anybody who is young in this country, for me, they shouldn't be following somebody who doesn't talk about their quality education, their jobs, their health. After COVID, you see what happened. Okay, it's not being housing.
Yes.
All those things. So if it's the whole question of this is our we are in power. If you are Kalenjin, you are in power with Ruto, you are not in power with him. Or if you are Kikuyu, you have jiggers and no clothes, and you're jumping up and down and saying we are in power. It's a disease. It's a virus. So for young people, as I always, and I spend a lot of time with young people, I urge them to focus on their material interests. Like a job is a basis, a work is a basis of your human dignity.
True.
You cannot be borrowing, even if you keep on borrowing from your father. It doesn't give you that, dignity. So I just hope that, in future, this country, your generation, will completely destroy the basis of our politics, which is ethnicity, and also monetization. Okay? So that we can judge people by what they can do for us, rather than
what they, where they come from.
Because I have been in Ukambani, I always see when there is a meeting, maybe a wedding or a funeral, the rich guy who is invariably a thief, comes last. And then the pastor says, Mundume Nuabika, which is, that's the man has arrived. As if those of us who are poor seated there, we don't count. So it's part of that politics that has to be changed. And I tell young people that the best place to change this country is to be an MCA. You go home where people know you. They know you have no money. And you tell them you will serve them. And you can walk around and ask them to give you money. Okay? This is what you.
So you raise from the people who you want to vote for.
That's what Mwangi did in Starehe.
That's what he did.
So it's possible. But let's not have role models. I was talking to this waiter at Java, and he was concerned about Songo. So he asked, what is the court doing about Sonko? So I said, what about Sonko? They don't want him to run. And I said, yeah, why should he run? He has been impeached. And he was very, very, very upset because, and I realized that our young people have these role models, and they think it's actually possible, to be that wealthy.
With integrity.
Yes.
Yeah, that fast.
But we've got to change that narrative.
Okay.
Or, to have a narrative or service.
Okay.
And where people are not given money, they actually take care
Contribute to the campaigns.
Yes. Yeah. And I can tell you that when Kenyatta came out of detention in 1961, I was in Standard 8.
Wow.
And those guys said nothing. And
the Kenyattas had nothing.
The Kapenguria 6 and the detainees, Ngei and others.
Yeah.
And what happened is that people raised a lot of money. And the first gift they got were 6 Mercedes-Benz.
Wow.
I still remember the registration number, KHA1. We used to call it Kenyatta Home Again.
Good memory.
Yeah. So it's the people
who give.
Yeah. Read the book on Moi by somebody called Morton. How Moi was chosen by the community. It's a community that told him to run for office. And during that time, since the natives were not allowed to wear trousers, they bought him trousers, they bought him the car. Kenyatta's house at Gatundu was built by people.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. And that politics of the ordinary people choosing leaders or expecting service and so forth, it's very, very, very useful. Because we have in this country good people who don't have money, okay? Whether they are the Mwalimu Dida or the Wajakoyas and Kagame and others, they can't compete because of the money. So your generations will have changed that into service, where we say once you become president, you're not going to steal. Yes. You're not going to sign agreements written in Mandarin because you don't read it.
Now that we are there, we're going to show you one specific picture, and you're going to tell us where you are and what was happening in your life at this time.
Okay, which one?
There you are looking gangster. Where were you and what was happening at this moment in your life?
This was on 12th June, 1982.
Wow.
When I was arrested and then taken to court and charged with sedition. Okay? They said I had a leaflet, a subversive leaflet, which read, JM Solidarity, reject these Nyayos. The 82. So, and I was Secretary General of the University Staff Union. And so the leadership of that union, of course, the union was banned. And then we were accused of overthrowing the government. This is before the coup.
82 is before.
Yeah, because this was June. So, I was handcuffed and, You
look so defiant on that picture.
Yes. Because I was 35. And I was innocent.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you meet that kind of oppression, you don't want to go there crying.
Yeah. So
you have a clenched fist and you say, these handcuffs, you can break them.
Yeah.
And so I was in remand for 2 months. And then I was detained.
Where?
No, at the...
Industrial area?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then I was detained without trial.
In committee?
For 16 months. No, I started the committee, I went to Shimalatewa, Polar, then committee, and then I was released.
Wow. Shimolatewa, I think you and Sonko would have something to talk about on that. Oh, Shimolatewa, you and Sonko have something to talk about.
No, Sonko was on the thieving blocks.
Anyway,
I was on the political and the revolutionary blocks.
Okay, now you're retired, yeah? So do you
but
have
I'm not tired.
Yeah, wow. So do you have a WhatsApp group? No, maybe you, Maraga, Martha, where you talk about just things that are happening, just the two of you saying, hey, na wewe ungefanya nini?
No, we have a very good relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that every Chief Justice who retires is supposed to start something called Office of the Former CJ.
Yes.
It's in the Act.
Yes.
It's part of your retirement benefit and so forth.
Yeah.
So you have that interaction because of retirement.
Yes.
Because the vehicles that are used are judiciary vehicles.
Yes.
Okay?
Wow.
So, but the three of us realized that the judiciary has to be independent. It has to be, supported. And even on this issue of African justice systems, you have told how the thread that I started was sustained by Maraga and Kome is actually developing it further.
Yeah.
We are not on a WhatsApp group, but we are in contact.
Oh, that's good.
I can reach CJ Kome anytime.
That's good.
And Maraga as well. You might have noticed when my book was launched about in March.
Yeah.
They were all there.
Yes.
And Kome invites us if she wants to seek my opinion, because the judiciary is bigger than the three of us.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe that's issue of a WhatsApp group for the three of us. Maybe it's a good idea.
Can I be? Maybe I can be the admin.
Can be the admin.
Before we let you go.
Yeah.
You have a lot of thoughts on first history, education, activism, and being a citizen and being a crusader for justice, even if you're not part of the judiciary.
Yeah.
So maybe as you give us your parting shot, what are your thoughts on all these things?
Yeah, let's start the education.
Yeah.
My position on education is very simple, because I benefited from education as a public good.
Yeah.
My father was a tailor. There was no way he would have paid fees for me in high school, Strathmore, and the University of Dar es Salaam. When I was in high school, Kitui County Council paid my fees.
Oh.
Strathmore, I had a scholarship.
Yes.
In the University of Dar es Salaam, the state paid everything.
The state of Kenya?
Kenya, the Kenya government.
Okay, wow.
It paid us, and
you must have been a very bright student.
Yeah. Yeah, we were, but the Kenyan government paid our fees in Dar and gave us a stipend, which was very generous.
That must have been like being a millionaire in Tanzania.
Yeah, this is the 60s.
Yeah.
It was so generous that at some point we would fly the East African Airways.
Wow.
There was a concessionary ticket of 300 shillings. So
wait. 300 shillings a flight?
Yes, to return.
Okay.
So we'll get to Embakasi. This is after independence, and we thought we were going to be big people. So I remember once we got there, and one of the students asked, "Where are the natives to meet their princes?" Wow. So it's like we expected native dancers. But that's what should happen. I am so concerned with the privatization of education. Because it means the rich people are the only ones who are going to go to Strathmore and other places, Kabarak and so forth.
Yeah.
So, and that is, I ask myself, if the government didn't pay my fees, I would never have been a lawyer.
Yeah.
There's no way my father would have paid thousands of shillings in Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
So we need, and this is what the young people should be demanding.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That education is a public good. It has to be free from kindergarten to university. We have enough resources to make sure that every poor kid
goes to school.
Can go to school.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that, we are going to lose out, because God gives rich people bright kids.
Yeah.
So does she or he give poor people
bright kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the opportunity has to be given. It's the same thing about health. It's a public good.
Wow.
Okay, COVID has taught us that.
Clearly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we need universal health care, which has happened in Makueni.
Yeah.
So it can be replicated.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
And as far as activism is concerned, we are all activists.
Wow.
All of us. It depends on which cause you are activist for.
Mm-hmm.
You might be an active pastor.
Mm-hmm.
You might be in activism that is about stealing and doing all. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a cause.
Yeah.
We all activists.
Yeah.
And I think activism is something that is human.
Yeah.
Nobody likes being oppressed.
Yeah.
Or abused.
No one.
Or exploited.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you do it, that person will resist.
Yes.
And that resistance is what is called
activism.
Yeah.
Oh.
When the police keeps on killing young people and so forth, the others are always standing up.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not going to kill a million people. Yeah. So activism is an act of humanity.
Wow.
Of making sure that you survive.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know maybe I wanted to close it, but I wanted to know, you're aging so well. I don't know, what are you drinking? What are you eating? Is it just Kamba jeans? Like what's happening that you look in
Kamba
such good
jeans.
Kamba jeans.
I don't answer that question because let me tell you, there's this Hassan Mwinyi.
Mm-hmm.
Hassan Mwinyi wanted to marry a young woman. I think she was 14.
Yes.
And of course there was a hue and a cry.
Yeah.
And he went to a girls' school, and the girls called him Shemeji. And he was very embarrassed, of course.
That was so sad.
That was the resistance also.
That was
how dare you take one of our students and all that. Then he went to the University of Dar es Salaam, and they called him Shemeji. And he closed the university. And he was asked by a journalist like you, but Raisi, kwa nini umefunga chuo kikuu? Hawa vijana wanitukana matusi ya nguoni. So you don't ask people. I think what I tell people is I think exercise is important.
Yes.
Watch what you eat.
Yes.
It's also important. And that you should not have stress.
Stress wachana now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the only people who don't have stress are us who have no money. I'm saying, no, understand what I'm saying. I'm not rich, but it's good for everybody, to have the basics.
Yeah.
Okay? Food, you have a TV, you have a refrigerator, So that this country is a country of the middle class. Okay? It's not a country where you have 8,300 billionaires who own assets equal to the rest of us.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So stress, of course, is it's a big deal. Watch what you drink as well. But I think the main thing is is sport. And I've always done yoga and meditation because it also keeps you stress-free.
Okay.
Although there is stress, but there are certain things that like that which are important.
Wow.
Lakini sisi ni chuma ya zamani, sio?
Sisi yangu ni mabroiler.
We were not fed with what is this called? What? Cerelac kulikuwa hakuna.
Okay, sawa. Wewe ni kienyeji.
Yeah.
Sasa ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Willy Mutunga.